The story starts with a young couple who heads out to a riverside to enjoy their vacation. The water looks completely calm on the surface, but they have no idea that no one who has ever entered that river has made it out alive. Right in front of them is a boat that could save their lives. But beneath the water lurk thousands of hungry crocodiles, waiting to make them their next prey. The story begins with an Australian family: Adam, Grace, and Grace's younger sister, Lee. It's been a long time since the three of them spent quality time together, so they decide to go to a zoo to enjoy their holiday. There's a special crocodile show happening there, featuring a rare breed mostly found in eastern regions. As soon as they enter the zoo, it's packed with people. Everyone is excited to see the crocodiles. Visitors feed them, take pictures, and have a great time. Soon night falls, and the three decide to stay at a nearby hotel. Grace asks Adam about the plan for the next day. Looking at a guidebook, Adam tells her that just a little past the zoo, there's a place called Blackwater Lake. They decide that they'll go fishing there the next day. Both Lee and Grace love the idea. That same night, Grace discovers that she's pregnant. But she decides not to tell Adam yet. She wants to surprise him with the good news when they get back home. The next morning, the three of them head out for Blackwater Lake. The road there is eerily deserted, but they ignore it and eventually reach the lakeside. Once they arrive, a guard named Jim tells them that the visitor boat they were supposed to take has already left just a short while ago. Now their only option seems to be turning back. But then Jim offers them another option. He says if they just want to go fishing, he can take them there on his own boat. Adam, however, isn't comfortable traveling alone with Jim in such an isolated area. But seeing Grace and Lee so excited, he finally agrees. After that, Adam and Jim head into the cabin to grab the fishing gear. Meanwhile, Grace quietly tells Lee that she's pregnant. Hearing this makes Lee extremely happy. But Grace asks her not to tell Adam just yet. A little later, Lee notices Jim putting a gun away. But she pretends like she didn't see anything. Deep down, though, she feels uneasy. Why would Jim bring a gun? Soon, they all get on the boat. Jim starts the engine, and their journey begins. Completely unaware that something terrifying is about to happen to them. Something no one could have ever imagined. The lake route looks beautiful. There are trees all around, and a cool breeze is blowing. Adam clicks some pictures of Grace and Lee to capture the memories. Then they stop at a spot and start fishing. But even after a long time, they don't catch anything. That's when Jim tells them that just a little ahead lies Blackwater Lake. If they go there, they might have better luck fishing. However, regular people are strictly forbidden from going there. None of them really care about the warning. So they all agree and move deeper into the lake, starting to fish again. They spend quite some time enjoying themselves, especially Grace, who's glowing with happiness because she's about to become a mother. Then Jim mentions that this area used to be full of crocodiles. That's probably why the government restricted access. But for safety, he brought a gun, just in case something goes wrong. Hearing this, Adam laughs it off and makes fun of Jim, saying there's nothing to worry about. They'll just fish for a while and head back. An hour passes. But as they move deeper into the lake, the surroundings grow eerily silent. Suddenly, something slams into their boat. The boat starts shaking violently. And within seconds, it flips over, throwing all of them into the water. Before they can even understand what just happened, they realize something horrifying. Jim is missing. Panic spreads among them instantly. At that exact moment, something moves beneath the water. Adam tells Grace and Lee to climb the tree quickly. Grace manages to get up, but her sister Lee is nowhere to be seen. Then Grace spots a crocodile dragging Jim's dead body across the water, confirming that Jim has already fallen victim to the predator. Now both of them start panicking, worried that the crocodile might have killed Lee too. Without wasting time, Adam steps into the water to search for her. Just then, the crocodile begins moving toward Lee, ready to attack. But Grace notices it in time and screams. Adam immediately climbs back up the tree, barely saving his life. Meanwhile, Lee is hiding under the overturned boat, terrified. Hearing Grace and Adam's voices, she slowly comes out. But the moment she does, The crocodile spots her and starts heading straight toward her. Adam quickly tells Lee to climb onto the overturned boat. Struggling, she manages to get on top and stays as still as possible. But from below, the crocodile keeps trying to flip the boat over, leaving Lee completely shaken. Somehow, she manages to hold on and avoids falling into the water. On the other side, Adam starts making noise in the water to distract the crocodile and lure it away from Lee. After a while, everything goes silent. The crocodile has left the area. Grace then tells Adam that this is their best chance to get Lee to safety, and they need to act fast. There's a rope tied to the boat, so Adam asks Lee to throw it toward them. When she does, Adam tries his hardest to pull the boat closer, but he fails. The boat seems to be stuck from underneath and is too heavy to move. Lee is still trapped in the same spot. Grace encourages her, saying the crocodile is gone for now, so she needs to gather courage, get into the water, and come to them. But Lee is so terrified that she refuses to step into the water. Now they're completely out of options. That's why Lee slowly steps into the water. But just then, from a distance, the crocodile starts coming back toward them again. Gathering her courage, Lee manages to climb up a tree just before it reaches her. By now, her leg is badly injured. With no other option, they decide to stay there and wait, hoping that someone might come fishing and help them. But even after several hours pass, no one shows up. Adam then realizes something terrifying. No one sees them come here. That means no one is coming to rescue them. Whatever they have to do, they'll have to do it themselves. He suggests that they should get back into the water, flip the boat upright, and use it to escape. But his plan is extremely risky, and both Grace and Lee refuse immediately. If they step into the water even for a second, the crocodile will kill them. Lee and Grace start screaming for help at the top of their lungs, but the area is so deserted that there's no one around to hear them. Because of the crocodiles, people rarely come to this place. Lee still has her phone, but unfortunately, it stopped working after falling into the water. Now the three of them come up with another plan. Since there are many trees around, they decide to move forward by climbing from one tree to another. Maybe they'll find help ahead and somehow survive. But Lee's leg is severely wounded, making it nearly impossible for her to move. So Grace decides to leave Adam with Lee and go ahead alone. Grace carefully moves from one tree to the next, but after going a short distance, she discovers something even worse. A deeper river lies ahead, and without a boat, crossing it is impossible. This means they have no choice but to flip their boat back over or they'll die right here. On her way back, Grace spots Jim's severed ear, which terrifies her. She rushes back and tells the others everything. Now they sit there waiting again. But waiting won't help for long because night is approaching fast. Adam then turns to Grace and says he's going down to try and flip the boat. Maybe, just maybe, the crocodile has left the area. But Grace stops Adam from doing it because she's terrified. Even though he doesn't want to, Adam slowly steps into the water and makes his way toward the boat. Using all his strength, he somehow manages to flip it back upright. Seeing this, Grace and Lee feel a moment of relief and happiness. But their relief doesn't last long. Adam is still in the water. And suddenly, from behind, a crocodile attacks him, dragging him under. Witnessing this horrifying moment, both sisters start screaming in terror. Moments later, the crocodile resurfaces with Adam's lifeless body. It's clear now, Adam has become its prey. Grace and Lee are left in deep shock. No matter what, they have to reach the boat. Grace carefully climbs down a bit, trying to grab the rope tied to the boat. But it's too far. She realizes she'll need a long piece of wood to reach it. Just as she moves slightly upward, the crocodile lunges at her from below. Terrified, both sisters freeze. Grace decides to stay close to Lee. Watching Adam's dead body floating in front of her completely shatters Grace. Just moments ago, they were together. What hurts even more is that she never got the chance to tell him that she was pregnant. Soon, night falls. The eerie silence all around only makes things worse. Then the weather turns bad and heavy rain begins to pour. At that very moment, multiple crocodiles gather and start tearing apart the dead bodies of Adam and Jim. By morning, the water level has risen, pushing the boat even farther away. The trees are now half submerged. There's no other option. They have to swim to the boat. The two sisters step into the water and begin moving forward. At first, everything seems normal, but suddenly, a crocodile appears right in front of them. They freeze in fear. Then, just as quickly, it disappears back into the water. Taking the chance, they rush toward a nearby tree and try to climb it. But this time, the crocodile grabs Grace and starts pulling her into the water. Seeing this, Lee screams at the top of her lungs, so loud that the crocodile lets go of Grace and retreats. With great difficulty, Lee manages to pull Grace back up onto the tree. Grace is in really bad shape after the crocodile attack. Her leg is deeply wounded, and she's losing a lot of blood. Seeing this, Lee quickly tears her shirt and tries to stop the bleeding. But Grace's blood keeps dripping into the water. Suddenly, Lee hears the sound of a boat passing nearby. She rushes toward it and starts screaming for help. But because of the loud engine noise, the people on the boat can't hear her and just keep going. With that, Lee loses her last bit of hope. Meanwhile, the crocodile, drawn by the smell of blood, is already making its way toward Grace. Just before it can attack, Lee rushes back and tightly ties Grace's leg to slow the bleeding. Now, all the responsibility falls on Lee. Carefully and quietly, Lee steps into the water and somehow manages to climb onto the boat. The first thing she does is throw the water out of it. But the moment she tries to start the engine, the crocodile hears the noise and lunges toward the boat to attack. To save herself, Lee jumps out and runs toward a tree. But right then, the crocodile attacks her, and she loses consciousness. After some time, when Lee wakes up, she finds herself alive on the shore. Next to her lies Jim's severed body. She's terrified. Then she notices that her fingers are broken. She wraps them up with a piece of cloth. That's when she remembers. Jim had a gun with him. So she reaches into his pocket and takes it out. Lee reaches into the water, trying to lure the crocodile toward her, but it doesn't fall for the trap. Then she cuts off Jim's arm and starts waving it in the water. This time, the crocodile comes closer, but not from the front, from behind. Just as it's about to attack, Lee tries to shoot it, but the gun won't fire because it's clogged with mud. Now desperate to survive, Lee starts running through the water, but the crocodile grabs her arm, badly injuring her. At that moment, with her hand inside the crocodile's mouth, Lee manages to pull the trigger. This time, the gun fires, killing the crocodile on the spot. In the end, Lee defeats the very creature that was trying to kill her. Without wasting any time, Lee rushes back to Grace and tells her that the crocodile is dead, and they're finally safe. But then she realizes something horrifying. Grace has already died from blood loss. Seeing this, Lee completely breaks down and starts crying uncontrollably. With great difficulty, Lee places Grace's dead body into the boat and rows her way out of Blackwater Lake. And with that, the story comes to an end. What did you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.